Welcome back to the Pete Rose Show, and another big guest I forgot about tonight. Of course, rotisserie football starts on Sunday, and the big draft is Saturday night, and last year's champion, Crazy Carl Heftel, the banger, will be right here on the Pete Rose Show to talk all about who the good drafts may be for the upcoming rotisserie baseball league. If I can get Carl away from signing autographs long enough, the football league, I mean. Excuse me, I meant the football league. If I get him away from signing autographs long enough, we'll get him on the show to talk all about rotisserie football 1995. Of course, he was last year's champion. All right, Buck O'Neill down in Kansas City. Coming up, Crazy Carl Heftel, the banger. Talk about rotisserie football 1995. Bang it in here and start talking some football. Right around the corner, the football season starts on Sunday. That's professional football, rotisserie football in the NFL on the Sports Fan Radio Network. Banger! Coast to Coast, the Pete Rose Show from the Ballpark Cafe. Carl Heftel, of course, the rotisserie football guru.
That's right.
What's up, Carl?
The banger.
What's up?
We got 3 days to go to the season, 2 days to go to the draft.
Now, what takes place on the draft? I mean, how many people will be? Where will the draft be? And this is a big deal, isn't it?
It sure is.
Didn't ESPN have a big special on it the other day?
They will on Saturday.
Well, who had a big special the other day with Norm Hitchkus?
That was Prime Network.
But it was a big enough deal that they had a lot of celebrity players there talking about rotisserie football. Who's the number one player everybody wants?
Of course, Steve Young.
Okay.
Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith.
Now, you actually have a draft, and where do you draft in this year's draft? Because you're the defending champion.
That's right. We pick cards.
They ought to put you last.
No, that's not fair.
Why? You know more than the other guys. Why should you be...
I do know more than the other guys.
Where do you go,
Well,
fifth?
I watch every game.
You go fifth or sixth?
I pick fifth. About a month ago, we picked cards.
Yeah.
Starting in 22nd round.
All right, when you say we, how many guys you talking about?
8 of us.
8 guys?
8 guys.
Okay.
And we start in the 22nd round, and we go down, we pick up until the first round, and that's where you pick.
Who's going to be your first pick? Jerry Rice?
Jerry
maybe?
Rice. I hope.
Now, for the fans that don't know what the hell we're talking about rotisserie football. They have it in baseball. They have it in basketball. I mean, what are you trying to accomplish as a rotisserie player? You want statistics, right?
I want statistics. I want to beat all my friends and make them all mad at me.
In other words, you say you want to beat all your friends. If you got Jerry Rice, you want him to catch 10 balls every week and score touchdowns.
Sure. Receptions, receiving yardage.
And if anybody has any phone calls they'd like to ask Carl, they can, call the show, 1-800-803-7383. So are you better off to have a guy that gets yardage, a guy that gets points, a guy that gets completions, or a guy that gets receptions?
You want touchdowns.
Touchdown.
We get points for everything.
Don't get Barry Sanders then.
Well, Barry Sanders this year is going to be the goal line back. Derek Moore.
They always took him out inside the...
No, not this year. Derek Moore
last year I'm talking
is
about.
in San Francisco now.
Although Barry was the best running back in football last year, he wasn't good for the rotisserie players, right?
That's right. He is the best running back in football, but this year Wayne Fonts has already said that Barry Sanders will be the goal line back.
Yeah, so the guy who led the league in touchdowns last year is your first pick.
Emmitt Smith?
No, I thought that Rice led it.
Rice. Emmitt Smith scored 21 touchdowns.
Okay, Rice is right there, then 18
Rice
or
is
so?
There. Rice is there. For some reason, the guys in my league do not like Jerry Rice. I love him.
Okay, now let me ask you another question. If you say that the object is to score touchdowns, it's got to be object to throw touchdowns too, or Steve Young wouldn't be the number one guy.
Steve Young is probably the greatest fantasy player ever because he runs touchdowns.
Yeah.
He gets rushing yardage.
Yeah.
Passing, completions, just that offense is just built around him.
Why wouldn't you want Dan Marino?
I love Dan Marino.
He'll be gone by the time you get there, huh?
The Dolphins have assembled the greatest team on paper that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just the free agents they've added, wide receivers, defense. We have buyers tomorrow night on the show.
Yeah, and obviously you don't put a lot of credence into the preseason games.
No, I do. That's one reason I have a big advantage. I watch a lot of the games. I get to see about half of the games.
You mean working here?
Yeah.
Because you run the satellites and everything.
Right.
So you got every game on there.
I'm the TV.
Are you going to be able to get all 8 1 o'clock games starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday?
We will have all 8 games.
We will have all 8 games.
We have extra TVs, too.
We got extra TVs. Did you go out and buy a couple or what?
I'm bringing in one of my own. It's black and white, though.
I thought there was more than 8 guys that did this. It's just your group.
It's just some leagues are more, but our league is 8.
Yeah, but you're doing a pool here with the employees of the restaurant. You're stealing from these kids, aren't you?
I know, I am. Well, I have a big advantage because I watch every game.
And when you say you watch every game, what do you watch?
I watch.
Tell me what you watch.
Well, in preseason, I watch the players. I see who's going to play.
All right.
That's big. You can't really. You have to know that they're moving guys in and out of the line.
What happens to Carl Halftel if you get Jerry Rice in your first round?
Right.
And the first week of the season, Jerry Rice pulls an Achilles tendon.
I'll be a
do you
little
get to
upset.
replace him?
Sure. Well, I have a 22-man roster. We have
Okay.
22 rounds.
So you'll have how many receivers on that roster? 3?
No, I'll have as
2?
many as I want.
Well, how many will you have? I'm asking you how many you're going to draft. You don't know?
I won't know. Probably 7 or 8.
Now, the first player you're going to get is Jerry Rice. Then what quarterback do you think you'll come up with?
I have a strategy about that because.
Can you
I'd like to tell you.
share
about
that with us?
Yeah. Well, if you don't get one of the first 3, which of course are Young, Marino, and your boy Bledsoe. I know you love Bledsoe.
Yeah.
I usually wait to the 4th or 5th round because there's so many quarterbacks available.
Well, there's 28 of them.
Well, there is 28, but you don't want to draft Steve Berline on Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But there's not
I told
much
you
of
the other day, Rick Meyer might have a good year.
I like Rick Meyer, but there's not much of a difference between Rick Meyer and Dave Craig. There's plenty of guys out there after the first 3. That's why I always wait. I get 2 good running backs, 2 good receivers, and I take my quarterback. And I hope none of the guys in my league are listening.
Well,
because I don't want them to get some inside information.
What about the running backs? What kind of running backs are we talking about now? Who would be the idealistic running back for you and your rotisserie team?
Well, Emmitt
if
Smith.
You could get him.
Of course, Emmitt Smith.
Well, you won't get him, though.
No, I won't get him. I'm looking in the second round. I love Ricky Waters.
That Philadelphia, huh?
That offense is built around him.
Yeah.
And they have the fullback from New England, Kevin Turner.
Yeah.
I don't know how Parcells let him go.
Yeah.
I love Bam Morris, with Foster gone.
Yeah.
Foster's
really gone.
He's when you get cut by an expansion team, that's bad.
Yeah, but that was because of injuries, I think. Just like McKyer said, you can't make the club in the tub.
That's right.
Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada. Warrior.
Viva
go
Las
ahead.
Vegas.
Go on. You're on with Carl. Go ahead, Warrior.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure. Listen, I want to talk about once again the excellence in Carmen policy and his intelligence. How a man could be able to get Timothy Harris for $300,000, have him suspended for half the season, so he has to pay $150 coming out of salary cap. And you look at him against Charles Haley, and $3 million is coming out of Jerry Jones's pocket. Carmen policy has pulled the coup of the century once again.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead, Carl.
last year the 49ers worked the salary cap. This year the Dolphins did it. And the Dolphins, I feel, still have
there's an investigation right now on that stock at Marino.
Well, that's Marino. I don't know.
I mean, but it's got something to do with the salary cap, though.
It sure does,
because
that's what they're talking about in Dallas.
Yeah.
With Jerry Jones signing these deals with Nike.
Yeah.
That's not fair. He's going to offer Dion how much more money than any other team?
You want me to give you a prediction? Dion will stay.
I love when you give me predictions.
He will be right there where he's at.
In San Francisco.
Yes, he will be playing for the 49ers.
Well,
after watching that interview with the general manager today, they will figure out a way to get Dion on offense, on kick returns, and of course playing defense as an all-pro defensive back.
Well, I hope
by the way,
so.
there's 30 teams in the NFL, not 28. I was wrong.
There's 30 teams. There's 2 more teams.
I'm just like baseball. There's 28 baseball teams, so I spoke out of 10. Yeah, there's 30 teams.
Yeah. Well, you got to add.
Give me some more information about rotisserie football. It's fun, isn't it?
It's
I get a kick out of watching you come in here on Sundays because you don't root for any specific team.
I root for players. That's right.
So that's really you're really involved, aren't you? You got to watch every game.
I sure do. That's why I have a big advantage over all the rest of my league.
And probably a big day for you is the next morning in the newspaper, writing down all the statistics of the players.
No, because this year we're going to get it on the computer. I'm going to be able to come in here
good.
a half hour after the game, and we're
Let's go back to San Francisco, Carl. David, you're on with Carl. Go ahead. You got about a minute.
Niners.
Hey.
Hey.
Who do you think I should take as one of my sleepers? Give me some sleepers here.
I have some sleepers. First of all, in kicker, I never like to take a kicker early, but this year I think Morton Anderson is going to have such a year, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
In that run-and-gun offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last run-and-shoot left. And I love Robert Brooks, Green Bay, filling in for Sterling Sharp.
That's a receiver.
Oh,
yeah.
He's going to have a great year.
But Brett Favre can get it to him?
I think Brett Favre can get it to him.
That's another good young quarterback.
It sure is.
Is that the only sleepers you got?
I like Garrison Hurst in Arizona.
Garrison Hurst, is his knees okay now?
He is. But, well, you never know with Buddy.
When he's with Georgia, he had a bad knee.
He doesn't like offense.
It's tough to take an offensive player from Arizona.
But he likes Garrison Hurst now.
Rob Moore, what about him?
Rob Moore is going to have a great year. Well, you know, he rested all his hopes on Dave Craig.
It sounds like what you're saying is football's going to have a great year.
I can't wait.
And fantasy football is even going to have a bigger year.
Yeah. We have 3 more days.
Half-tell. Bangers.
Bangers!
Have a great night, buddy.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks for being on the Pete Rose Show, and have a good draft on Saturday night.
I will.
Frankie Andrews is going to do another update, and we'll come back with a lot more of your phone calls on the Pete Rose Show, 1-800-803-7383 on the Sports Fan Radio Network. Bangers!
Earn the right to talk about anything. The man is ready to talk to you. Call Mr. Pete Rose.
Welcome fans to the Pete Rose Show, live from Boca Raton, Florida. Tomorrow night, simulcast Friday, our last one until next spring. Keith Byers. Keith Byers. I know he's from Ohio State. He's back. Of course, he went. He's a Buckeye. He'll be my guest host. Joe Namath in the house. Bernie Parmalee in the house. And, of course, the knuckleballer, Charlie Huff, in the house. All that tomorrow night on Simulcast Friday. Of course, that's New Sport. And, of course, that's the Sports Fan Radio Network. First pitch is up next. Of course, who they got? They got Rob Fisher doing that in the corner. Joe Altabali and Dave McNally, former pitcher of the New York Mets. Dave McNally, he pitched for Baltimore Orioles. He's talking about the New York Mets. He didn't pitch for no damn New York Mets. He's a pretty good pitcher, too. And my thanks tonight to John Dockery, and, of course, my thanks to Buck O'Neill for being on the Pete Rose Show, and my thanks to Carl Halftell.
The banger.
We'll see you tomorrow night
Thanks,
on
Pete.
Simulcast Friday. The banger says hello. The banger says goodbye.